This is Nigeria. You want to know what's going on? Relax, I will tell you now.
Yeah, I mean, the APC Presidential Campaign Council has been all out against Atiku Abubakar, and the PDP are accusing you of wanting to win the presidency through the back door by asking Atiku Abubakar to step down because they claim he is the main contender to this presidential election in 2023, which we are in and very close to in just a few weeks.
Yeah, with all sense of responsibility, I want to say that Waziri Atiku is not a threat to the APC. Had never been a threat, and whatever he's saying now in terms of his promises to Nigerians, if a context analysis is done of everything he has said, they are being done already. Some had even been concluded. So it's just like a repetition, you know. And we have made it known to Nigerians that this person had become an expert in copy and paste, you know. So it's not exactly original-minded, you know, as far as we are concerned. And we have a stronger appeal, you know, to Nigerians, because the slogan, the oration by PDP is to try as much as possible to ventilate the challenges we have been undergoing since 2015 because, of course, of the economic downturn. But Nigerians had also been able to understand the fact that Buhari entered this government at a time of global economic downturn that had serious impact on Nigeria. And to a large extent, he has been able to handhold us as a people, as a country, out of the delinquencies of that period. Well,
some people will disagree with you, saying that the fuel queues are still on the streets. I mean, just like my last guest was saying here.
One challenge that already is being handled, is being addressed. Everybody agreed that the subsidy regime had been done historically, you know, had been a fraud. And this government decided to put it in the custody of the NNPC, which means that whatever the NNPC is doing, it still belongs to Nigeria because it's a Nigerian-owned company. So the NNPC is fully in charge of subsidy. But the truth of the matter is the subsidy as an economic concept by itself being applied in Nigeria is wrong. And it has everybody
had said it was even a fraud at
that time when private individuals were claiming subsidy for products not delivered. There are different eras. This era is being managed by NNPC, a fully owned Nigerian government company. So where it is fully owned, whatever is going there belongs to Nigerians.
Well, President Buhari is in charge, but let's come back to the main issue. Why does the APC want Atiku Abubakar to step down because of this alleged SPV allegations by someone who claims to be his former aide? Why are you going to court on these issues, which Atiku Abubakar claims he doesn't even know the aide?
Yeah, if he has claimed, the first thing is there a name or is there an activity around a company called Marine Floats in the history of this country? And it has been established between 2001 and 2007. That name was very popular within the political environment.
Well, the PTDF saga then and all that.
Everybody who was interested in politics would know that there was a Marine Floats company. The difference then and now is that we didn't know the machinations around Marine Float companies.
We didn't know the faces.
Then all of a sudden, somebody who had claimed to be an aide to Atiku now came out without anybody's prompting, because I know that as a group and as a party, nobody prompted from our side. Nobody prompted Atimugo.
That's allegation. You brought him up as a blackmailer.
That is allegation. And it is good that they are claiming that it's a blackmailer. It is part of sterilizing the information process, you know, that Keyamo had gone to court. So you now have a third-party arbiter coming in to establish if this person was indeed a blackmailer or not. So it's not going to be a shouting match between PDP and APC, oh, it's a blackmailer. No, it's not. The proper thing to do, and I think this is historical. We should congratulate and commend, Keyamo for doing this. For the first time, we now have a process from taking, moving it from the political environment and taking it to the judicial environment. To say that politicians in our characteristics manner, we are shouting and massing around these conjectures and speculations, which may actually be lies or whatever. But the judiciary, you are the best in position. You are trained, and by constitutional positioning, you are also empowered to intervene in this matter.
Yeah, but
help us intervene. As a Nigerian, first and foremost. Is a Nigerian first and foremost. I also have a right, because the issues involved has to do with how Nigeria's money at the federal government level was diverted into a particular account on the collaboration, between the then president and the then vice president, the two highest office of the land, where by the exposition of that tape,
the alleged audio tape released by Michael.
Alleged audio tape that we listened, and that some of us, all of us, know that sound more like the voice of Wasiri Atiku Abubakar.
Do you know that? They said it was manipulated.
So it is good it is denied, and we are protagonists of that position. And it is good they are denying it. It is the normal thing. After the normal thing, the tradition in Nigeria is when we come out, politicians, somebody did this, you say no. After a while, you move on to the next scene. But now this is not going to move to the next scene. It is now in the court of law. After the election, it's still ongoing. We are going to unravel the basis, the origin, and of course the motivation.
So that means even if Atiku wins this election,
of course he will not win. But even after we have won, because the issue for us is not about winning, it's not just about telling Atiku to go. We are saying that he should save his face, by stepping down. Well, because we know how this thing will turn out.
Your opponent said that you want to win the election through the back door.
Our candidates are done more than anybody in campaigning. Our candidate has more historical relevance, has more achievements in terms of where he's coming from to flaunt.
Well, tell us why Nigerians should vote Bola Tinubu as the next president in the next few weeks to come, considering some of the challenges being said, and then, of course, some of the things that you have also said as a governing party that you've done well. Do you think that side by side between Buhari and Tinubu, that Tinubu has the capacity to inherit the goodwill of Buhari, including the votes of Buhari, which your opponents say he doesn't stand in the right capacity to be able to inherit that?
Tinubu had more or less nurtured two national parties, AC and ACN, and then APC. In 2007, he facilitated the ticket for that party to Waziri Atiku Abubakar. He could have stepped forward, Then in 2011, he facilitated the ticket of another party that he nurtured to Mr. Nurubado. It was a major driver of the APC, And rather than step forward, if it had been the normal selfish Nigerian politician, he would have stepped forward to say, look, I am also a stakeholder here. I also want to contest. Rather, he supported the ambition clearly in the public space, the ambition of General Muhammadu Buhari, as it were. Now, that is a man in those periods gathering goodwill for himself. Because all those people he was also supporting were not from the south, they were from the north. And it was because he was insistent that the ticket and the presidency was due to go to the north by equity and by historical rotation, And eventually he was able to attain that. We can say that the attainment of political office, presidential office by the north, was principally driven by the Tinubu factor in 2015.
If there was political justice and equity, like talking about, and there are calls for it to go to the south, should it be going to the southwest, where the southwest has done 8 years as president and 8 years as vice president? Why should, if Tinubu, is seeking justice for the south, why shouldn't he promote a south-south or a southeast presidency?
The APC was configured on a pivot, I think about 4 pivots: the north, northwest, northeast, north central, the southwest. Those are the major zonal power base of the APC. And of course, the first in that rotation was is this current president, Muhammadu Buhari, okay, from the northwest. And there was this agitation from the south, led by the southwest, but driven by the southeast. All southeastern governors at that time rose up to say, this thing must come to the south and all that. And southwestern governors put voice to it, either at the level of the chairman of the governors forum or at the level of the chairman of the APC forum, governors forum, But at the end of the day, every member of the southeast governors forum abandoned that advocacy. So if you abandon the advocacy, what do you expect today? Where are members of the southeast governors forum? Where do they belong to? Are they talking about
interesting developments there? Well, as you are calling for Atiku Abubakar to step down because of these alleged SPV allegations, the PDP is also saying that your presidential candidate should step down because he has drug allegations against him. There's an issue of, a court case in the United States where he had to make some refunds and all of that, settle out of court. And then there are lots of mysteries surrounding him. And of course, there are lots of gaps, and that Tinubu is not of a sound health as we head towards the election, that the rigors of the office of the president will require someone who is very strong and fit. What do you make of
let's start from the behind. Rigor. Can you measure the kind of movement, travels Tinubu had undertaken in the last 6 weeks? It's unimaginable. And of course, I tell people it is not for you to determine the health of anybody. We have seen this morning an under 30-year-old person go to bed and did not wake up. It is not in our place. Now, in terms of whatever allegations they have against him, they should please, we are begging them to borrow a leaf from what Keyamo has done. Put whatever you have in the legal system. Let it be justified. Let it be crystallized. Because you sit down somewhere, you have all manners of allegations, and we have had some of them taken to court. How many court cases have you had against Tinubu? And at the point in time, a number of media houses came out, carried a certain documentary against Tinubu. Tinubu took them to court. The court awarded more than 150 million naira. Eventually, some of those media houses that transmitted that documentary begged. So what are we saying here? But we are saying, give truth, give evidence to truth. Go to court. Let's start this process. So it becomes a new chapter in the way we validate news and stories in the political environment. It's a very huge
challenge that you are throwing to the main opposition PDP and others that
so that they don't become rumor mongers. They are just rumor mongers as far as they are concerned. Please.
Don't you think you're forgetting something? Yes, the subscription button. Click on it right now.